So you told me you wanted to talk about something tonight.
Yes, I mentioned it earlier. I don't. So
And
I have actually had the pleasure of talking to Lorne myself.
so I
And
said you talk about whatever you're comfortable talking about.
well, I really don't care. You can ask me anything, anybody. I will answer pretty much anything. I really don't care. When the first day, what I will say is the first day of it was not particularly Lorne that I talked to. I will go ahead and use character names. It was Winnie and Will, which was interesting.
So
And
why don't you explain how that came to be?
yes, okay. So I was listening to a stream one night, and it was Emma's, and she at the time she was denying having any contact with Lorne at all, and they were talking about what he would be like if he got with a girl that was, had a lot of guy friends, had a lot of hobbies that guys did, just basically that, would involve a lot of men in her life. And I'm sitting there, I was like, oh, that's me. I am a machinist. I work in a machine shop. I ride dirt bikes. I love to go fishing and hunting, camping. And I love the outdoors and just, being active. And a lot of times that's just, there's not very many women that are into, some of the stuff I'm into. So I happen to have a lot of guys in my life. And I have a lot of guys in my life at my disposal. And some very, very good-looking ones that I would be able to use
So what's
as
your
ammunition
address?
against them. Huh?
I'm sorry.
What?
So where are you and how can I get there as quickly as possible? Go ahead, Precious. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, where was I at? Okay. So, she's talking about that. I'm like, oh, that's me, and I was like, I'd be capable of, I think, doing a lot of damage. Well, not only that, I had, my intentions were a little bit meaner. We won't go into that, but so, she was talking about, like, well, write him a letter. Nobody's in my, what everybody knew at the time is he's not talking to anybody. He's just sitting there on his own little pathetic self. And I was like, all right. So I wrote him a letter, and I did this for a reason. I was honest about myself. My real name, my real number, where I really live. Except I gave him a P.O. box. I didn't give him my address at the time because, there's really no telling where that letter could have ended up. And I described how I looked, and also I used my pictures for him, my real self for him. It was all me.
I'll say this: I am a straight woman, so everybody take this. Understand, you are absolutely adorable. You are very pretty.
Oh,
He
well,
must
thank you.
have been thrilled. Because you showed me the pictures, the
Yes, I
pictures.
did. Yeah.
So he must have been thrilled.
Yes. And in that letter, I described how I looked like. I put like my real height. I said I'm 5'2". I put my weight down. I put how what my hair looked like. I just tried to describe myself the best I could in the letter, just to get his interest. Well, a week goes by, and I get a phone call. At this time, I am at my grandparents' house. My grandmother was out of town, and I was, I don't want to say babysitting, but I was staying at my grandparents' house to take care of my grandfather because he has Alzheimer's. And that's kind of important to it because he said something that I was a little offended by, but I was at my grandparents' house taking care of my grandfather when they called me at 7:30 in the morning. But I was already up, so cool, no hard feelings. And the first person I talked to, it was Will, but he was trying to do a Lorne imitation. It was a very bad one. And he was like, "This is Lorne." I said, "No, this isn't Lorne. I know Lorne's voice, and you are not him." He goes, "Well, why would I have this letter?" I said, "Honestly, I don't know. It could have gone to the wrong house, but whatever, but you're not him." And they hang up. They like to do that a lot. And the next phone call I got, it was Lorne. And he's like, hey, you know, I was like, well, hello. And at this point, like, I was so nervous because the first phone call, when I saw the area code, I was like, oh, fuck, man, you know? Yeah, it's really, oh, my God. I was really nervous. And he calls back again. He's talking, and then he starts saying, you know, the usual dumb shit about I was wearing coveralls, you know, and that I'm this man and a big fat hairy man basically with a voice changer. And I was like, no, I was like, you know, no, this is my real voice. I am not a man. I am, you know,
turn off that voice
what I told
changer.
you I was. A voice changer. You have a voice changer. No. So, you know, those voice changers, they're incredible. You know, they do some pretty cool stuff.
Amazing technology.
Oh, my gosh.
You have to be careful not to fall in love with him. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here reading the chat. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep interrupting you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Please. They're like, feel free to interrupt me with anything anybody's saying.
Scarlett wants to know how many minutes did it take for him to propose to you? About 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes.
All right. I'm sorry. Continue,
no,
Precious.
It's fine. It's fine. So in the middle of Lorne talking, I hear Winnie, and you know, hear that lovely voice. And it was hard. It was hard for me not to be like, oh my God, Winnie, you know, because I wasn't going to tell him anything about it, you know, that, you know,
yeah,
it's none of his business as far as I'm concerned. I pretended like, you know, I've never heard these people. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's just all new to me, right? But in the middle of it is when he was like, what I told him, he's like, you're wearing coveralls, your voice changer. I was like, no, actually, I said, I'm wearing some yoga pants, you know, and no, I'm a woman. And I hear Winnie, that's when Winnie cuts in, I can't imitate her voice, so I'm not even really trying, I'm sorry. But I hear her cut in with, 4XL yoga pants. Like, oh my God. Which, you know, being confronted with Winnie was, that was a lot. That I didn't really know how to handle very well because I can't say anything. I can't give anything away,
right.
You know. And so I was just like, oh, okay. And then I really don't want to make this about like Ramona or Emma. So I'm gonna they fucked with me a few more times that day. Stupid shit. Well, at the end of it, which I got a text from a Ramona, which I'm going to go ahead and say this. I just me personally. Nobody be mad at me, okay? But Ramona sent me a text, which I took as a little bit threatening because, of course, they did a background check on me, and they still couldn't get my name right, which was interesting. But she texted me, you know, something on about, this is Ramona, and come on, he's making you look like a fool. Come on, you'll be a star. You know, I was like, that's not why I'm doing this. I had no intentions to put it on the internet. You know, of course I was going to record it. That for sure. But that was not my intentions. I was like, no, that's not why I'm doing this. And then she sends me a text. You need to make your Facebook friends private. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
but,
and put it into perspective for everybody. How long ago was this?
This was over a year ago, a little over a year ago.
It wasn't like it was yesterday or anything like that.
No, yeah. It's been a little while. It's been over a year now. So it's been a while. So it's not, and it wasn't like, oh my God, look what I did, you know? And I barely, and the only reason, Babs, I emailed you that day was because I heard my name in the phone call where they were, you know, talking about me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see how it is. Let me tell somebody what's up at least.
Yeah.
So on that phone call that first day, Winnie is like, you have, you know, she has kids and she just wants to get you in trouble. I was like, kids? I don't have any kids, and I don't. And, you know, and that I was married. I was like, I'm married. Like, I'm not married. You know, it's just all a bunch of bullshit she's saying to make sure she wouldn't contact me again. So he on the phone, and he did this on purpose. He was like, well, don't ever write me again. I don't want to ever hear from you again. I was like, or he said something about never talking to him. And Winnie the whole time, because this was like 5 or 6 phone calls, or maybe more. She kept hanging up on me. They would say something and then click, they would hang up, call me back and do it over and over and over. And then when he said about him never talking to me, I was like, well, I wanted to say that's funny because I'm talking to you now. You just contradicting yourself. Mm-hmm. But after he said that, I don't want to talk to you, never write me again, blah, 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 they hung up. And I didn't hear from them for the rest of that day. Well, the next morning, again, super early, they're calling me again. And I was like, oh, my God, I fucked up, man. So I answered again, and this time it was just Lorne. And he was like, hey. I was like, hey, how are you and your little friends doing today, Mm-hmm. He's like, no, it's just me today. I was like, oh, sure, okay, sure. I was like, whatever. He's like, no, really, it's just me. They don't know. And this is why I picked that name, because he was telling me, we're going to keep it a secret from everybody. He wasn't going to tell Emma, Winnie, Will, all his little, imaginary friends. It was nobody was going to know. I was like, okay, that's okay.
Lorne's trying to cheat on his catfish.
He was. And at this time, because he told me, he told me a bit about what was going on, which at the time, again, Emma was denying everything. And, with what he told me, I was like, oh, okay, I see. It all kind of clicked into place for me about what was going on at the time and just everything. Mm-hmm. So, oh, Jesus Christ, I just went blank. So he's, okay, let me think. He calls me again. No, my friends aren't on there. It's just me. This will be our little secret. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
So stupid.
Well, yeah. Which he did not do, by the way. He told Emma, although that's the end of the story.
Yeah, it's because that's what he does.
Yeah, of course. I figured he would. I knew exactly why his number changed the next day. I knew it happened, and then she confirmed it in the phone call. So I was like, I knew it. That bitch did it. I knew it. Sorry, I'm just kidding, guys. Don't hate me. So throughout the day, I would talk to him. He'd hang up. I was on the phone with him for quite a while that day, and it was crazy. Everything you hear, like on the phone calls, everything in the chat log, it's all him. It is crazy. He's trying to get me to move up to Maine within an hour of talking. Not only that, he's telling me, like, I got to come up there to visit him right away, because I got to meet his probation officer, and, so he has an excuse of how he met me, because, he can't meet people over the internet anymore. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, slow down, dude, slow down. But that day, he did ask some really weird questions, like how much money did I make in a week where I worked, and
he's a gold digger. I never took you for a money guy.
Maybe I wasn't making as much money as his other imaginary girlfriends, and that's why. Mm. I don't know. But yeah, how much was I making? Where I worked, and moving up to Maine, and he wanted to see pictures of like what it looks like where I live, because I live in a desert, basically. There's nothing here. And, trying to, well, that's why you need to move to Maine, because it's pretty, but really boring. So he was really boring. And by the end of the day, which I don't know if you could tell in the text messages that you saw, but because it was fairly early, I was already tired of talking to him, because he's trying to get me to talk to him on the phone all night. I was like, oh my God, no, please.
It's not even worth it. Man. It's not even worth talking to him.
Yes, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm taking care of my grandfather, and he's got this, and he's getting, he keeps asking me where my grandmother is. I don't know if it's going to be a good night. It's starting to look like it's going to be a rough night for me. I don't know if I'll have time for you, which it wasn't. I just really, it was like, I was like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Yeah, it probably worked out to the best for you to not be involved
I really think so,
any of that.
And I did tell I told, like, my family, well, part of my family knew, you know, some of my friends know, and they were like, oh, well, good. You know, they didn't want me talking to him anyways, which I understand why. But, you know, and they were like, well, what if he comes down here to see you, you know, uninvited for whatever reason? I was like, good. You know, honestly, I hope he does, because he wouldn't like the ending. But, you know, I can hope. But, yes, so he was talking to me about, like, Chris Hansen, what was going on then about, you know, Chris Hansen's wanting to do this interview with him. He doesn't know what to do. And I was like, well, what are your friends saying about it, you know? He was like, well, yeah, they want me to do it. They think it's a good idea. And I was like, okay, well, what's your family? What do they think about it? He's like, no, they're saying no. I was like, well, what are your personal opinions about it? You know, he's just like, I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to do it. I was like, okay, well, you know, it could be real interesting. You might, you know, I would think about doing it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let me say this about, I know people have a lot of really strong opinions about things, and I just want to have fun and laugh at Lorne. And I understand where those opinions are coming from. And probably the best thing for you is that you didn't end up talking to him for very long. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
It really, honestly, I was kind of glad, because already at the end of the first day, I was like, oh, I'm sick of talking to him and giving him excuses of why I can't talk to him anymore that day. You know, it kind of takes a lot out of you too, talking to him. It's just, you know, and it sucked, because I had to be nice to him. You know, right. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying not to, like, just lose my shit and say the things that I really want to tell him, you know, because I'm wanting to keep him there for longer so that I can eventually do that, you know?
Yeah.
And just have him keep calling me just for more abuse from somebody else.
And I mean, I can only speak for myself, because I've thought about trying to get in touch with him. Mm-hmm. And I realized, like, just for my emotional state and mentally, it just wouldn't be worth it just to laugh, just to be, you know, just to make myself laugh. There's enough stupid shit out there in this world for me to laugh at. He's a toxic person. And I feel like it just hurts people. I think him talking just hurts people.
Yes, and not only that, I think that having to continue with what you're doing yourself, which you're basically really being him. You're lying to him. You're being manipulative. You're being, it's basically, it's the same thing, really. And I really think that can change a person too. You get used to it, and it becomes okay, you know?
Yeah.
And it becomes okay to start lying to everybody and just,
Yeah, and I'm definitely not. I mean, listen, I listen to these phone calls and I laugh at them, and I certainly don't judge what anybody does. If you wanna catfish Lorne, knock yourself out. I'm grateful that people have. It's just, I think for myself, it's just not worth it.
The whole reason I even because I was listening to that Emma talking about what he would be like if he talked to somebody, with a lot of men in their life. And I was like, oh, that's funny, that's me. And what happened is I was listening to the phone call, and I did not, I wasn't going to be nice, let's be honest. The reason I even wrote him was because I was listening to the phone call where he was talking about his real victim. Mm-hmm. And I kind of snapped. I got so angry. Right. I was like, all right, this motherfucker, he's going to pay. He's going to fucking pay.
Shin says he would do a face-to-face interview with him. I would do that, Shin. I think I would be much more likely to seriously ask him questions that at this point in my life than try to fuck with him. There's too many people out there that are much better at it than I would be.
Right.
They can have fun with that. I think that's great. And I really don't want anybody to take this like I'm judging anybody for what they do. because I don't. That would make me a fucking hypocrite. I think it's funny as shit. I just can't do it. I think it would make me, it would turn me into something I wouldn't want to be. That's all.
That's it, for sure. And and at the time I didn't think anybody was talking to them. I thought, they were all done. If they did their thing, everything, that whole thing was over. I didn't know they were in the middle of it, because I would not have done that if I knew that,
Yeah.
Because what I was hearing her is, I don't talk to him anymore. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. So I was like, oh, okay.
I don't have any insider knowledge. I'm not involved in any kind of catfish or past catfish, or I've never had anything to do with that. The only thing I can say defending what you had told me before about then I guess he had been told you were married or you had kids or something like that.
I'm married, and me and my husband were cahooting with the right. cod, and just all of that shit. Which none of it was true.
And I think, and you told me about this like a lot. This was like a year ago or so. It was after it happened that you mentioned it to me. And I think the only thing I really had to say about it was, if there's like an active catfish going on, I guess I can kind of understand, because there's got to be like a lot of paranoia about, is somebody going to fuck this up?
Like I said, I completely understand why they did it. I do, because I would be terrified that they were going to just, tell him fucking everything, and ruin what they have going on, which I never would have. Never, but they don't know that. They have no clue. I don't blame them, but, I don't really think that this is probably the right place to talk about that, because I don't want anyone, my feelings, I know everybody loves Emma and Ramona and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, after messing with Lorne that long, it can kind of change you into, maybe a little bit of him in a way. Not in a big way. I don't mean that in a rude way. I don't know how to say that without sounding like an asshole. Right. Let's just skip over that.
It's all right. I think I understand.
I never said that. Anybody,
I am going to suggest, I will suggest to anybody that is interested in catfishing Lorne, don't use your real information. Don't use your real information, guys.
No, I was worried about my information getting out, which it never did. That was okay. Oh, I want to answer some of the questions real quick that were in the chat before I continue on.
Okay.
Somebody was asking if he sang to me. No, he did not. I did not ask him to. He didn't try to woo me with his gorgeous voice.
That's disappointing.
And let's see. Jimmy. Doop, doop, doop. Yes, I love Tiffany. I didn't get to talk to Tiffany. just Winnie and Will. I forgot. There's some other questions, but anybody, I'm going to pay attention to the chat while I tell the story now. I'm very sorry. So ask me anything y'all want, but also, okay, what else did he do that was really just stupid? Everything he did is basically stupid. Oh, yes. He brought up his YouTube channel.
Oh, he did?
He did. He was like, I have 2,000 subscribers on my channel now, and I'm not even putting anything on there.
Jesus, like, he loves bragging about that fucking thing.
He does. And
he sounds like me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah, I'd be pretty starstruck if Winnie and Will called me. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I'd just hang up. I really would. I'd just be like, nope, nope, no thanks.
Yeah, that was Winnie, and Winnie basically. Will was just basically trying to imitate Lorne in the beginning. That was basically all I heard from him. Winnie is a whole other beast, man. I cannot go up against Winnie. I am not smart enough, for one. It's just best to let her say whatever she says, and Joey, he says, yeah, it's cool to give women's real names and addresses to...
convicted.
To contact sex offenders because you're paranoid. I really wouldn't care. I honestly hope if he wouldn't, because he's not going to leave Maine. But if he did happen to just show up at my house, I'm very equipped for that. So
okay, Erido has a question. What did Lorne say about your grandfather's condition? You mentioned that he said something offensive earlier.
Yeah. So okay, yes, when I was telling him, I don't know if I can talk to you tonight, because he keeps asking me over and over and over, where's my grandmother, his wife, where's my grandmother, where's my wife, and I kept telling him she's out of town. I told Lorne this and why I can't. And this, I don't know, it offended me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's probably nothing big, but he was like, tell her she's at bingo. And and in the text messages, I have to be nice. I can't say, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah, that's kind of...
So that's what he said. No, tell him she's at bingo. Lol. And I was just like, LOL. No, I can't tell him that. I can't be like, you are a son of a bitch,
Well, here's a question that I have. That you said you gave him your actual information, and
yes.
and you started talking to him. And what was your intention? What did you see your end game as being? Just talking to him, or
just tormenting him?
Yeah.
Basically, just as much as possible. I don't want to say it on here.
Magnus got the best characters, Lorne and Pennywise. Yeah, I realize this might be, it's a little controversial for a About Speech stream, and I usually try to avoid any.
I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry.
I told you. You and I talked about this beforehand, and
yeah.
I said you can talk about this any way you want to. You can say whatever you want about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well,
it's your experience, and if you want to tell people about it, that's fine.
I really didn't.
Yeah.
But so let's keep it on the lighter side about stupid ass Lorne.
Yeah, I remember, I was pretty, I won't lie, I was pretty fascinated about, so what did he, did he ask you any of the typical Lorne things? Did he give you any of the Lorne lines? You know what I mean?
Yes, he did. So, the first one was, because I told him, oh my God, I was nervous when your number first popped up yesterday. I was like, but then I had to deal with your, all that crazy bullshit. And he was like, well, are you still nervous? He said, yeah. Are you still nervous about talking to me now that you've actually talked to me? And tell me, what are you thinking now that you've talked to me? What are you thinking about right now, that you're talking to me?
What are you thinking about while you're talking?
Yes.
Jesus.
And I was like, well, I'm thinking about work and what I have to get done to be done with work. But yes, what are you thinking about now that you're talking to me? He gave me the typical Lorne line.
Oh my God. Did he ask you to count the hairs down there? Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
No, I'm sorry to say he didn't.
Did he tell you his peckle was literally standing up on its own? Guys, I don't think these are actual questions, guys. Did he offer you a bracelet from Walmart?
I don't think so either. Oh, sorry, Lexi. I'm sorry, babe. So, did he offer you a bracelet from Walmart? Could someone fill me in? How is this controversial?
Oh, boy, that's hard to explain.
I think basically because I was talking about Emma and Ramona. And, I don't know, I think just the whole catfishing thing can be controversial. A lot on its own, too.
There's a lot of moving parts,
Yes.
Yes. And
yeah, there's.
I'm trying to find diplomatic ways to say things, but I just can't. So I just won't say anything at all. I can't.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm not gonna fight for my right to talk to a sex offender. I could give a shit.
Yeah, it really wasn't a big deal, right? It really wasn't a big deal when he changed his number on me the next day because I know what happened is he asked him about his best friend who is honest about everything. I'm sure to look into me. And that's when she came with, oh, well, she's married, she has kids, she's cahooting with a church of quad and, shit like that, and changed his number on me. So, and he told me, he lied to me. It was supposed to be our secret, and that hurts. It hurts me inside.
I always thought it was really funny, like the little subplot that Lorne would have his best friend call you, and then behind her back, he calls you. Like, I don't care what my best friend says.
Yeah, it went behind her back, and this was the time, this was the time when him and Winnie were no longer together, and he was talking to Tiffany and Debbie, Debbie, and, Debbie was like, no, I don't want to be with you, because he's telling me, well, we're not together, we're just talking. He goes, oh, my God. And he was like, we get along so well, like, we just, we click together, and he was telling me about that was his ex's sister. I was like, dude, that's her sister. And he goes, okay, but you don't understand. She understands me. I was like, dude, that's her sister. Dude, that's but it's her sister. He's like, yeah, but I think
it's so funny, like Lorne hedging his bets to talk to a stranger. And no offense to you, but he doesn't know you.
No, he doesn't know me at all. And Winnie in the chat, she's like, I remember talking to him. Yes, he did send me pictures of his dogs.